Shalawam. First and foremost, as always, I have to give all thanks and praises unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Wawakakwadash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters as well. The water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. This is going to be the most different video that I've ever done before. Okay? I'm going to get a little personal with this one. And at the end of the day, I hope it can be edifying to the Lord's elect out there. And I want to mention this. This is not for, my own personal glory. This isn't for popularity. This isn't me making something up. This isn't me being desperate for views. It's just been heavy on my spirit here lately. And as a man, you know what it feels like to have a woman that you're interested in. She's beautiful, good personality. You like everything about her, right? And you can't get her off your mind. Well, this particular topic that I have going through my thoughts has been going through my mind like crazy. And it's been driving me crazy. And, since I teach alone, I really don't have brothers to talk to about it. So I figured, you know what, I'll be vulnerable and just throw it out on the internet because I don't give a shit how people feel about me. I walk alone out here anyway. I got Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But long story short, this is for my brothers, man, who are believers. Hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. I don't expect you to, look at me any different after this video or anything. I'm speaking through the Spirit, and the Spirit's telling me I need to bring it up, okay? But I've been getting a lot of just signs from the Lord of who I could be in the Spirit, man. And I can already hear brothers thinking, oh, this man's bugging out. He's bugging out. He's losing his mind. This brother got demons on him. Well, I hope not. I hope I don't. And I've been pondering on it, and I truly hope it's not demons deceiving me because, so many things have been, leading me back to the same thing over and over again. I have some notes on me, so I'm going to try not to lose sight on where I'm going with this conversation, okay? And the order that I'm speaking in, it's not the order that I saw this. It's just a particular order of me lining things up in the best way that it makes sense, if that makes sense, okay? Now, my birth certificate, Like I said, this video is going to be personal. This is going to be the most different video I've ever done. It's going to be a little slow at first. So hopefully I don't lose you, okay? And maybe throughout the video, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? On my birth certificate, my birthday is 9/9, September 9th. And you know, the number 9 also goes into the number of judgment. I was born at 9:21 at night. 9:21 at night. 9, 2, and 1, when you add that up, that makes 12, right? And when you read it backwards, it's 12 and 9. So my birthday's 9/9. I was born at 9:21. And it was told to the 12, okay, which also represents the rest of the 144,000, that they would be judges, which the word judgment goes into the number 9, that they would be judges over the 12 tribes of Israel, which is the number 12, 9 and 12. So again, my birthday being 9/9 and coming into the world at 9:21 at night, okay? I want to go to my notes here so I can stay in order so I don't lose sight of what I'm trying to say, okay? So yeah, my birth certificate, it shows 9 and 12, going into what I just explained, and pretty much going into Matthew 19, it explained how the 12 would be judges, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, which is where you get the numbers 9 and 12 also. Okay, and if you also go to Sirach 25 and 7, it talks about the 9 judgments, I believe, because the number 9 goes into judgment. Okay, also the 144,000, 1 plus 4 plus 4 is also 9. Okay, so the 144,000, not just the 12, but 12,000 out of each tribe as well, are going to be made judges, the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, now, before I go any further in this topic of conversation, I'm gonna go on ahead and make myself stationary. I think I want to sit down for this. That way I can concentrate a little better. And hopefully this lesson will be simple and edifying. Okay? Give me a moment. Set it over here instead. I have to get it stationary. It keeps wanting to tilt over on me. It's not the greatest stand that I have. Yeah, like I said, you know, this video, it's going to be a different vibe this time. You know, we're going to do things a little differently. But Lord willing, you brothers who I consider my friends, this video doesn't offend you. And, you know, you look at me any different after this. And if you do, I understand. But at the end of the day, this is on my spirit to talk about this. Okay? I'm not saying I'm John the Revelator, but Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai keeps leading me back to that thought. Okay? No matter how much I fight it. Let me get into my notes here so I can stay in my order. So, I didn't consider or ponder any of this until recently when I came across a book titled Sons of Thunder. So keep that in mind as I'm explaining all this. Me being, me possibly being John the Revelator was not on my mind all this time. This is new to me, and it's been bombarding me, I think is the word, and I can't help it. It's like a beautiful woman that can't leave my mind. All right. When I was younger, when I was a little boy, I had a vision of the earth passing away. The same vision that John the Revelator had when he had a vision of the earth passing away. Now, in my vision, I still can't fully remember if the earth was coming closer or moving away. But the earth, it was huge. It was hovering over the earth that we were on. And there was just a lot of smoke coming out of it. I never understood that dream until recently. I never really pondered on it until recently. Okay. Not really considering I literally had a vision of the earth passing away, like John the Revelator. Okay. And in that vision, there were also men going around snatching people up. Now I understand what that means. They were obviously snatching people up to take them to either be killed or sent to a concentration camp. Okay. You have to remember it was also John who had the vision of seeing the mark of the beast and the number being 666. Okay. Me, I live in Topeka, Kansas. The zip code is also 666. Okay. Let me go to my notes here. I don't want to lose you. Okay. And in that dream, I also pondered on how these men in these uniforms, they reminded me of Klan members, but they were wearing all black. And I couldn't understand it as a young boy, what I was seeing. But now I understand that was probably just a representation of racist devils in military uniform, snatching people up to take the mark of the beast or to be killed. Okay. Now, back then, never put that together. I just thought about this within a month ago. Okay. All these things just started hitting me about a month ago. Okay. If that. So bear with me. This feeling is very new to me. In terms of me just pondering on it on the level that I am. Okay. I'm going to keep going. When I was younger, I went fishing with my older brother. Okay. We went fishing for hours. We caught no fish. I was frustrated to the point that I've never went fishing since that night or since that day. We had to have went fishing for 11, 12, 13 hours, 14 hours. I don't know, man. It was literally all day from the break of early morning to it being dark outside before we gave up. Okay. And then, later on, now that I'm in the truth, I hear about the disciples going through a similar story, fishing with, how John and James were brothers. Okay. Peter had a brother who was also other 12, and they went fishing and they didn't catch any fish all day. Very frustrated. But then Yahweh Shai eventually told them that he was going to make them a fisher of men. And now here I am in the truth. I'm a fisher of men. And I haven't went fishing since that day with my older brother. And we caught nothing all day. Okay, one of the most frustrating days of my life. All right? No water, no food, just a fishing rod. It was dumb as hell, man. It was just stupid, unprepared, all right? So, reading on the disciples falling asleep right before Yahweh Shai was taken up to be crucified, I kind of laughed to myself as I was pondering on that. And I was joking to myself. I said, if I was there, I would have stayed up. And the reason why I said that, you know, I had insomnia issues at one time, especially, you know, going through issues of, you know, trying to have a set job. And, you know, it was just a tough time. And I would find myself just up late at night for no reason. So when I was reading the scripture on that, I was like, yeah, if I was there, I would have stayed awake. Well, some time goes by. I'm invited to a brother's Passover in Kansas City. His name is Mahaloya. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, he's a very special brother. You know, through him, I've met different brothers. You know, without him, I wouldn't have met no other brothers in the truth physically. But he invited me to his Passover. There was about 5 of us there, right? You know, the brother anointed us, you know, put oil on our heads or whatever. And by the end of it, when it was time to close it out and I was leaving, you know, he offered me to stay the night. And I had mentioned to him that I'd be all right. It's all good. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, I'll make it home. I'm not tired or nothing. I'm good. He was like, you sure, brother? I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good. And I really felt like I was good. I didn't feel tired, you know? Within 15 minutes of me driving home, I'm yawning, sleepy. So what I decided to do first, you know, I turned my music up really loud, hoping that that can keep my brain activated, so to speak. And I'm trying to, you know, sing to the music really loud. I'm like smacking my cheeks, yelling to myself. I just wanted to go home. I could have, you know, pulled over and went to sleep, but that wasn't on my spirit to do. It was on my spirit to just get home, go home. And, you know, I was dozing off, you know, I'd catch myself doing this and, you know, waking back up. Dozing off again, waking back up. It came a moment where I dozed off so long that I woke up probably going at least 60 miles per hour on the highway. And I was hitting some tall orange cones. I was driving a Nissan Altima at the time. And as I'm hitting the cones, all you hear is boom, 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 boom. It's freaking me out. And I'm thinking, for sure, this is damaging my car, which it did not, for the record. And as I'm rubbing my eyes from waking up, I'm driving through like this dark purple black mist. And it's almost like in tunnel vision right before me. My eyes were extremely heavy. Like, I've never been that tired in my life. And, you know, at one time I was pondering like maybe that could have been death. Now I'm kind of wondering if the Lord didn't send me through a portal or something, you know? Maybe I would have crashed into a guardrail or drove off a cliff or something. Maybe the Lord put me through a portal. I don't know. I believe in miracles, man. I don't think that's impossible. But all I know is when I woke up, I was driving through a dark fog, a dark mist. My eyes were still heavy. I'm rubbing my eyes as I'm looking at this, trying to make it go away. So at least for a good 5 seconds, this is what I'm seeing before it slowly just starts to dissolve away as I'm driving through it. And at that time, I didn't ponder on me saying, you know, on that night of the Passover, if I was there with Yahweh Shai, I wouldn't have fell asleep. Seeing damn well me driving home, not only did I fall asleep, I fell asleep behind the wheel. And I've never been that tired in my life. So I fell asleep on the Passover, you know, just like the disciples did. Okay. So that's another thing. Let me go forward. Let me turn my tablet back on here so I can go to my notes. Like I said, this lesson's it's a different vibe, man. I'm not really going to get no scriptures. I just want to speak to you brothers, just get this off my chest so I can just move on about it, you know? Now, at this point in time, I'm not even thinking about John, okay? Keep in mind, I didn't start thinking about John till I came across the book that I mentioned earlier called Sons of Thunder. So still not really pondering, dang, I could be one of the 12 disciples. Not even on my mind. Okay? Where am I at? So there was another time I was with some brothers and we were fellowshipping with a unity camp. And after we got done, we wanted to go get something to eat. And we sat at a table. It was a nice little round table. And as all of us were sitting down, I'm looking amongst my brothers. And I was just thinking about the 12 disciples, right? Thinking about Yahweh Shai being with us. And as I'm looking at the brothers, and as there's 12 of us, I literally look up like this. I'm looking at the brothers. I literally look up like this. There's a number 12 right above us. As I was pondering, thinking about the 12 disciples sitting at this table with 12 brothers, all of us who did the work. Okay? So that made me think of the Last Supper with the 12 disciples. Okay? And just how the number 12 was right there and like verified my thoughts. Right? Another time after fellowshipping, it was a unity camp. This was the time I went to Chicago. But I went to Chicago through the brother in Kansas City. I haven't spoke to him in quite some time. I'm guilty of that. I could do better reaching out to brothers, man. That's something I can work on. I love you brothers, man. Like, I can communicate better. I kind of live a solo dolo lifestyle. It's not intentional, but I've kind of just gotten that routine, man, being in this ministry. And, where I am, ain't nobody in the truth. So I just kind of got accustomed to just, being alone, although I know I'm not alone. Absolutely not alone. Okay. But there was another time I was fellowshipping with some brothers in Chicago. And in the midst of doing that, I came across a brother. I forget his name. Breaks my heart that I forget his name, man, because I still to this day, I want to pay this brother back for this. But I had jokingly went up to the brother because I knew he made garments. I was like, I know you be making them garments, brother. What's up with a garment? Brother was like, hey, cool. He asked for the address and everything. He didn't give me no price, no nothing. Brother didn't even know me. Like, we knew each other in the spirit, of course, but before that moment, we've never even met each other, man. And me just kind of being a little humorous, just being silly, I did not expect that answer like that. So the brother gets my address or whatever, sends me the garment right away. And you know what garment he sends me? Or you know what design is on the garment that he sent me? So when you watch my videos, that red garment that I wear, there's 7 candlesticks on it, right? Well, that was the same vision that John the Revelator had in the book of Revelations, when Yahweh Shai was in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. The only time throughout the Bible you're going to see the 7 candlesticks mentioned like that is in the book of Revelations with John. And the brother happened to make me a garment with the menorah, the 7 candlesticks on it. Okay? And at the time, still not even pondering about being John or one of the 12 disciples. Okay? But everything is adding up under my nose and I'm not even seeing it, right? So let me go forward. Okay? So back when I first started teaching, and these things may not be in an exact order, but the order I put it in is to kind of also help make it make sense. Okay? It's kind of scrambled, but that's how the scriptures are wrote too, and I see why. Okay? Around the time when I first came into this truth, maybe my first 2-3 years, this Muslim man, 2 Muslim men came up to me in all white attire, had their heads covered with the hijab or whatever you call it, had knives on their side, just straight hardcore Muslims. And we going at it, we arguing, dudes pissing me off. I'm chewing him out. I'm telling him, the Lord gonna kill him. The Lord gonna put him to death, blah, 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 right? I'm just going in on the guy. Long story short, even after that event happened, I told him how the Lord was gonna judge him. A week later, tell me why I'm reading about this dude. He tried to blow up, I forget what building it was, but he tried to blow up some building a week after our interaction and got caught for it. And it was a big building too. It wasn't no little small building, man. He was trying to do some damage, but he got caught. So this was a week after, he came across me on the street and we had our little debate. And I'm yelling at his ass. I'm chewing him out, man. I'm pissed off, man. For real, like low key, I ain't gonna say what I want to do, man. Okay. But he was just talking that nonsense. A week later, he does that. He's been locked up ever since. So I end up coming across a gig sometime down the line. And I'm gonna just throw it out there. At the time, I was working with a trash company, man. Yeah, I was taking out trash. A very humiliating job. But I'm glad I went through it. Very humiliating job, man. And those guys are hard workers, by the way. So I came across this gig, this trash job, just one random day on the back of the trash truck. Me and this man are communing. Tell me why this man happens to be related to that Muslim guy that I got into it with on the street. And at the time that he was talking to me about what I'm referencing now, I didn't even know this yet. I didn't know this till later on because he was speaking about his brother being locked up in his situation. And I clicked two and two together like, I know who that is. I know that dude. He don't even know I know who his brother is, right? So anyway, so we just having a random conversation. We're not talking about the scriptures. We're not talking about anything spiritual, man. And this guy, he's a weirdo. He was a weird dude. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Just a very strange guy. Not somebody you'd really take serious. But he just looks at me and randomly he was like, are you one of the 12 disciples or something? And, I snickered at him. It's like, no. But for whatever reason, though, my heart kind of pondered on that, but not so much as it is now. But that moment was the moment that seed started getting placed in my mind, like, what if? Because, see, in this truth, we're prisoners of hope. And the Lord is very symbolic when he's dealing. Okay? And this staff that I hold right here, I'm going to get to this too. All right? I'm going to get to this too. Where was I at? So there was one day, at random, I had sleep paralysis. I was attacked by a demon. And I was laying on my back, I believe. I had to have been laying on my back. And I was moving my hand like this, moving it to my face. And I was trying to open my eyes. I couldn't open my eyes, but my eyes were cracked enough to see my hands in front of my face. And as I'm looking through the cracks of my eyes and I'm barely moving my hand, I'm like this. And I'm seeing a ray of light come through my hand. It was like like right here. And it was a bright white ray of light, a bright illuminated ray of light coming through the palm of my hand in the form of a circle. Okay. And, now where I am now at this present time, at that time, I didn't think about it so deeply like this. But John, he was the only one of the disciples to personally see our Lord and Savior crucified on the cross. Okay. Randomly, sometime down the line, my lady, I should have brought it, man. But she has like this this long paperweight thing. And this paperweight looks just like the same nail you would use to crucify somebody back in ancient Rome. And this was after that vision, soon after that vision. And when she gave it to me, she said she didn't know why she grabbed it. She didn't know what to do with it. She just randomly decided she was going to give it to me. So now I got this random paperweight that looks like a nail that the Lord was crucified with. After seeing that vision of that ray of light coming through the palm of my hand, and John the Revelator was the only disciple that saw our Lord crucified. Okay? So I'm going to keep going. So I also had a vision of the lake of fire. Okay? And I also had a vision of what John would have seen with New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. The only difference is I didn't descend onto a tall mountain. I was looking up to a tall mountain. And I saw a huge chariot above this tall mountain. And putting two and two together, you know, it could have been like a dark green chariot. It could have been black, man. It was just dark looking. It was just a dark disc shaped chariot. And it was hovering over a mountain. And the peak of the mountain was perfectly in the center of the chariot. And it was like a 5-second vision. It was just beautiful. It was a beautiful blue sky, beautiful clouds, man. This chariot's just posted there, beautiful mountain. And I woke up not even thinking about the vision that John had of seeing New Jerusalem come down from heaven. I didn't see New Jerusalem come down from heaven, but I perceive in my spirit what I saw was the beginning of New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, coming down from the chariot in them new bodies. Okay. I also had a vision, since I'm speaking of seeing that chariot. I was in front of my old house. The address was 832. And it also makes me think of John 8:32. Right? I was looking up in the sky, and it was a wheel within a wheel. It looked like a pitch black chariot. It was just so dark. The sky was dark. The chariot was dark. It was just real ominous and scary looking. And I took off fleeing. I just ran. And in my head, I'm like, Kahala Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai. Kahala Yahweh Ba Shem Yahweh Shai. And as I'm running, my eyes are closed. I didn't even want to look at it again. I was just scared, right? As I fled away from the chariot. But I knew it was the Lord, which also makes me think of the disciples fleeing, right? And the chariot being dark also makes me reflect on the vision I had with this dark chariot hovering over this great big mountain, okay? Which I believe through the spirit that was New Jerusalem getting ready to come down from heaven, okay? I've also had a vision of the lake of fire. I've talked about this one. You know, I was at a doorway just high in the air, man. The fire was exalted so high that all you could see was fire. You couldn't see no trees, no cars. The tallest tree couldn't have been seen. It was just pure fire burning. And as far as my eyes can see, all I see is fire. Nothing but fire. And as I'm staring out the doorway, there's this really huge, long missile descending right in front of me into the fire real slowly. It was just really long. And for whatever reason, I didn't look behind me. I can't tell you what was behind me. I can't tell you what was on the side of me. All I remember, I was just looking out of a doorway. And all I saw was a lake of fire and a great long missile that wasn't separated. It was just a whole missile descending into the fire. And nothing was seen but fire and dark sky. So, You know, John had that same vision. So I had a vision of the earth passing away, like John. I had a vision of the lake of fire, like John. And I had a vision of New Jerusalem coming down from heaven, like John. The only difference is I did not get to see New Jerusalem come down from heaven. I got to see New Jerusalem preparing to come down from heaven. I'm not making none of this stuff up. I have no reason to lie to you, brothers, man. The Lord will kill me, man. I ain't got no time to be playing them games, man. I don't got no time for that, man. I understand the Lord's a terrible power, and I'm not here to lie to the sheep. The Lord will kill me for that, man. And that's not what I'm going to do. I'm being real with y'all, man. All right, now I'm going to keep going. Okay, because again, all these spiritual signs just, it keeps hitting me, right? So, in that vision that I had of the lake of fire and New Jerusalem, that was while I was in the truth. The dream I had of the earth passing away was while I was outside of the truth, with people getting snatched up, with what I believe was men sending them to get that mark of the beast. Okay, and again, I live in 666. John saw the vision of the number of the mark, which was 666 as well. Okay. So in the scriptures, Yahweh Shai had sent the 12 off 2 by 2, I believe, and basically told them not to bring anything except for a staff. This staff right here, my lady, she has a brother, right? Been going through a homeless situation for a while, been struggling, going up and down. Not to go into his personal life, but it's not like you know who the guy is, so it's not a big deal, right? But he never comes by, but one day he randomly came by. He brought this over. I don't remember if I was there or not, but he brought it over and he just leaves it there. For whatever reason, he just left it there. And at this time, not even pondering how the Lord gave the 12 a staff, right? So I have this random nail figure as this paperweight nail figure that reminds me of the Lord being nailed to the cross after seeing my hand illuminated. And I randomly get this staff. It wasn't meant for me to have. It wasn't planned for me to have. He just left it there and it fell in my presence, and I've had it ever since, and he hasn't came by ever since, man. And this was some time back, So the Lord placed the staff in my possession, just like he did to the 12 back then, right? Without me asking for it. So all of these things that are happening, all of these things are at random. I'm not planning for none of this, okay? I often wear a red robe when I'm at home, when I'm chilling, right? And my lady pointed this out. I wear this red robe like an outfit. And I have this book. When I say I wear this red robe like an outfit, I mean it. So I have this book, right? Shows you the description of the 12 disciples, the imagery of the 12 disciples. And you see how they're wearing red robes. My woman is like, just like the 12 disciples wearing red robes, you always wear that red robe. And I always wear my red robe at home, man. Like it's an outfit. So she pointed that out. I thought that was spiritual. So that's something else on top of other things that just had me ponder like, wow, that's crazy. I'll wear that red robe over this. Just be at home chilling, throw on my red robe. I love that robe. It just feels natural, Let's go for it. Let's go to the notes. So I had a vision being in some place where the disciples fled. And the only reason why I knew that, because in this dream, there was a narrator. It's like I'm in this building. I don't know. I assume it was a temple. I don't know. I mean, maybe it wasn't. But I'm looking down a stair set or a set of stairs, whatever. There's like a door right in front of me as you look in front of the stair set. But the room that the stair set led to was like a small square room with a door. It wasn't really that big. It wasn't a big room. I didn't look up at the ceiling, but I could see sunlight illuminating from the ceiling. And it had a like an old church smell, if you know what I mean. After about 3 seconds of me in this vision, staring at this doorway and just kind of looking, there's a narrator in the background. He says, "This is where the disciples fled, blah, blah, blah." And I just woke up. So now I'm really pondering on this thing. Like, and one thing about me, I don't dream on demand. I hardly ever dream. 95% of the time, I don't even remember my dreams. So when I remember my dreams, it's a big deal. It means something. Even more so when they're spiritual. Okay? So, hold on. Yeah, so after I had that vision, of course that was on my mind, hearing the narrator showing me or explaining to me this place that I'm at, this place I'm inside of. This is where the disciples fled. In my mind, I had to kind of study. I was like, did they flee? So after I did the research, they did flee. And it was right after they fell asleep, like I did. So not only did I fall asleep on the Passover like the disciples, okay, now I'm having this dream of me fleeing, or not fleeing, but this dream of being at a place where the disciples fled to. And this happened in the Bible back to back, but it was spaced out how it happened. Okay. When I fell asleep, this was some years back, when I had this vision of the narrator saying this is where the disciples fled. This was like a month ago, month and a half ago. Wasn't that long ago, man. And that dream is really what started to really mess with me. That's really where things started to shake me up. Like, wow. It was just a quick 6 second, 7 second dream, man. But it spoke wonders. And then to see that it was validated when I looked it up in the scriptures, that the 12 actually did flee after they fell asleep. So I'm like, wow. Okay. I got more. So soon after that event, I went to preach and I spoke about it, right? I had mentioned that dream. And after teaching, 3 days after speaking on that lesson, roughly, I'm at work in the break room and I see a book and it's called Sons of Thunder. And I think it had like some cowboys on the front of it, right? It had some cowboys on the front of it. And it had some cowboys on the front of it. And it was called Sons of Thunder. And in my mind, I knew it was a biblical reference, but I couldn't pinpoint to what. I'm thinking, was that somewhere in the Maccabees? I'm thinking the Apocrypha. I wasn't even thinking about the 12 disciples. Didn't even think about that. Wasn't even pondering on the 12 disciples when I saw Sons of Thunder. I just knew it was a biblical reference. So long story short, when I saw this book, it was in the break room, randomly just sitting on a bench in the locker room. And I ended up leaving. Maybe a couple hours later, however long later, I come back, the book is still there, and my eyes see it again, Sons of Thunder. And I'm just dwelling like, yeah, I know it's a biblical reference. I didn't look it up or nothing. I just let it go. I'm studying a few days later, randomly as I'm studying, I'm reading, and it said James and John called Sons of Thunder. And I reflected on that book I saw, right? And as I'm reflecting on that book I saw, I'm like, dang, the Sons of Thunder, two of the disciples were called Sons of Thunder. And then things started pondering on my mind more and more. I just had that dream of this is where the disciples fled. Now I randomly see this book called Sons of Thunder, just to find out that goes back to two of the 12 disciples, James and John. I'm going to say something right now is very, very personal, but I don't care. I'm a very transparent man. You know, I don't got nothing to lose, man. I gave my life up to Yahweh Shai. James and John were both called Sons of Thunder, right? Back in the world, I used to have a rap group called Sons of Chaos, right? Now check this out. My rap name was Swag Malone. I looked up the word swag. I just found this out today, man. It just like stuff just keeps happening to me. The spirit just made me just randomly look this up today. So I looked up the definition of swag. Again, my rap name back in the world used to be Swag Malone. Okay? It says, for the definition of swag, and this is just a basic definition off Google under Merriam-Webster dictionary. Definition of swag: bold or brash self-confidence. And that sounds like John. The fact that, you know, James and John were called Sons of Thunder, it went into their boldness, you know? And I could say, yeah, that's pretty much my spirit, man. I've toned down a lot over the years, man. When I first came in, I was a lot more, you know, I'll chill your ass out, man. You know? The Lord's chilled me out a lot, though. But, you know, I still have my moments. I'm still working on it. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I don't have an attitude problem. But I don't have an attitude problem so much that it's affecting others, you know? But there's just times, man, when I'm in the spirit, it's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm about what the Lord's saying. If you ain't with it, I don't give a damn what happens to you. You either gonna get with it or get rolled over. I get like that sometimes. So sometimes I can be bold or harsh, just like how John was, right? And the other part of my rap name was Malone. So I looked up the definition of the word Malone, okay? Malone definition. Malone is an Irish surname from the Irish Mel-Eon. The name means a servant or a disciple of St. John. So St. John, one of his nicknames was Sons of Thunder. My old rap group name was Sons of Chaos. My rap name was Swag Malone. Swag meaning bold, right? Like Sons of Thunder. And Malone, disciple of St. John. Sons of Chaos, Sons of Thunder, disciple of St. John. Right? Just found this out today. That blew my mind. Like, what the hell, man? It's like this just doesn't stop. Right? Now, I'm going to say this about my lady. Right? So like I said, James and John were called Sons of Thunder. I've been with my lady for years. Right? I've been with my lady damn near 17 years, right? You know what my lady's name is? Jamie St. John. James, John, Sons of Thunder. My lady's name is Jamie St. John. And you're not going to find her. She's not on the internet. You know, she's not on Facebook. She's not on Instagram. You might find some other Jamie St. Johns, but you're not going to find my wife. You know, Lord willing. But, yeah, her name is Jamie St. John. And the Sons of Thunder were James and John. My lady, Jamie St. John. Right? Let me see where I'm at here. So I have a picture, the only picture I have with my dad, and the only picture I have with this brother. And this particular brother, he's actually in prison right now. Okay. But James and John, their dad was a fisherman. I have a picture I'm gonna show you when I was a young boy. And it's just crazy how everything gets revealed. And it's, it's kind of ironic, John the Revelator and like all these things are just being revealed to me like this. It's almost like the Most High is joking with me, you know? So I have a picture of me, my earthly dad, and my brother. And this particular brother, he's in prison. His name is Rashawn. Before I show you this picture, his name is Rashawn. And I just found this out today. And when I say today, earlier when I was at work, because I work nights. So I didn't go to sleep yet, as you can see. I looked up what my brother's name meant. Just something told me, look up his name. His name is Rashawn. This is the information that I came up with when I looked up my brother's name that's in this picture here. I'm almost done. I'm about ready to wrap it up here. It's the Sabbath. I figured, it'd be a good time to just get this off my chest. This may come off as crazy. It may come off as bugged out. I don't care. I have faith that I could be John, man. And that sounds bugged the hell out. But there's just way too many so-called coincidences, man. Dang it, let me find it. I took a screenshot. I could just look it up again. Okay, so I looked up the definition of my brother Rashawn that I'm going to show you here in this picture. Okay? And I've never known this until now. Meaning counsel, protection, grace by God. And I remember when I was younger, I used to look at him like he was my protection. I knew he would always have my back no matter what. He's in prison now. We need the kingdom, man. And he a Muslim, meaning counsel, protection, grace by God. Rashawn is a boy's name of American origin. It combines the German name Ray, short for Raymond, meaning counsel, protection. So it's combined with the German name Ray. And remember, I had that ray of light come out of my hand. Okay, which also reminded me of Yahweh Shai being nailed to the cross. And remember, John was the only one that saw Yahweh Shai nailed to the cross out of all the disciples. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but the Spirit's talking, man. Okay, and I feel like the Lord ain't just bugging me out, man. I really feel in my heart of hearts like the Lord's revealing something to me, man. It's not like one or two or three or four or five or six things. And it's not things I'm reaching for. These are things that just fall in my lap. You know what I mean? Or I'll have a random thought as of late, and it's like, boom, dang, something else, right? Anyway, so going back to my brother's name meaning, with the name Sean, an angelicized Irish translation of John. So my brother Rashawn is actually another translation of saying Raymond John. Okay, so Ray Sean, I had a Ray come out of my hand. Sean is really John, right? Ray out of my hand, ray of light, John. In this picture, when you read about James and John, you hear about how their dad was a fisherman. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little personal, right? Here's a picture of me, my dad, and one of my older brothers, right? So right here, you got my dad, okay? And if you look, he has he has an anchor. Let's see if you can get it clear here. It looks blurred from my end. I don't know if it's blurry on your end, but he has an anchor around his neck, right? My brother, his name is Rashawn. Okay. Sean really means John. John was the younger brother. I would be the younger brother. My dad has an anchor around his neck, just like how John's dad was a fisherman. And this is the only picture that I have with my dad. And the only picture that I have with this brother. Okay. And again, his name translates back to John. I've never would have known that until today. So Rashawn is really another way of putting the names Raymond and John together. Okay. And Ray is also like a beam of light. And I had that beam of light come out of my hand through that vision I had, through that sleep paralysis. Okay. Now, I did not just add these numbers. These numbers have been here for as long as this card has existed. This card has been around since 1996. That would have made me about 9 years old in this picture. So in this picture, I'm about 9 years old, right? On the back of this picture, dang, can you see it? I don't know why it looks blurred from my end. Anyway, so in the picture, you have 9 for the number of judgment, like the disciples, they were told that they were going to be judges. You have 9 and 144. See? 9, 144. Then next to it, you have 5 and 2, which is 7. And then next to it, you have 1, 5, and 1, which is also 7. And those numbers are also on my birth certificate. Okay? Right here, they wrote 1 and 8, which is 9. Right? Goes back into the number of judgment. 5 and 7 makes 12. The 12 were told that they would be judges. Okay? So 9, 12, 9, 144, 7, 7. Oh, and right here, you have 4. You also have 12 here, and you also have 9. So you have 9 and 12 twice in a row. So I'm going to show you again, okay? You have, because numbers don't lie, man. This has been here the whole time. 9, 1, 4, 4. Okay? And it was told that the 12 would be judges, which also trickles down to the 144,000. Okay? 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. 1, 5, and 1 is 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay? The only picture that I have of me as a baby, I have a number 4 on my shirt. Okay? And Yahweh Shai, when he came to the disciples, he came to the disciples for 40 days. So you have 4, 309, which makes 12, 108, which makes 9. And then you have 1 and 8, which makes 9, 5 and 7, which makes 12. So it's like the Lord even signified the card. So my brother, whose name secretly means John, so in this picture, he's my older brother. But when it came to James and John, John was the younger brother, which would be me. James and John had a dad who was a fisherman. His necklace has an anchor on it. And then you have 9 and 12 all on the back of this card, which is also on my social security card. Okay? I know it's bugged out, right? I'm reaching. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I hope not. You know, I hope and pray that the Lord's not, bugging me out. I don't feel like he is, but I hope not. Okay? And I'm going to close it with this. The simplest of them all. When John came into this ministry, scholars say he was roughly 24, 25 years old. Me, I came into this ministry about 24, 25 years old. It was 25 that it was officiated. Maybe I was 24 when I first heard about it. I'm not sure. But 25 definitely was when I came into the truth. And I was around the same age that John the Revelator came into this ministry. And I've always felt in my spirit that I've walked with Yahweh Shai before, Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Only time will tell. But I really had to get that off my chest, man. I had to get that off my spirit. Just back-to-back things have happened that just constantly lead me into thinking like, man, the Lord's trying to reveal that I could be somebody, man. Okay? You look at me different now. I understand. You can unsubscribe. That's fine. But I'm just speaking from my spirit. I totally believe in my spirit that it's not Satan whispering in my ear. Okay? So I'm going to go on ahead and wrap this up. I don't know which way is the east from here. Maybe it's this way. So I'm going to go on ahead and wrap this up. And I'm going to give all thanks and praises unto our power. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wabrakak Wadash, Shalawam. Lord willing, this was edifying. I know it was long-winded. You know, maybe I left some things out when I was writing stuff, maybe not. But I gave enough. You know, it wasn't just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, man. It was just a multitude of different events that led up to me feeling like, man, the Lord might be revealing that I could be somebody. All right, Shalawam. You brothers mean something to me. Hey, you brothers stay in the fight. The prophets is back. And you brothers, man, believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that way, you believe in yourself as well. Shalawam.